In a small and picturesque village in ancient Turkey, the gentle morning breeze carried with it a sense of unease. The stone houses, with their clay roofs and wooden-framed windows, were immersed in an oppressive silence, broken only by the worried whispers of the villagers. The young Bishop Nicholas, a respected and admired figure, walked through the streets, his heart heavy with the rumors circulating among the inhabitants. 3 children had disappeared, and the shadow of panic spread like a dense fog. He knew he could not stand idly by while the community suffered. Nicholas, wearing his long tunic and with a determined gaze, headed to the center of the village, where a small crowd had gathered. The faces marked by anguish reflected the intertwining of despair and hope. He listened carefully to the stories told in murmurs, each account more disturbing than the last. The children, known for their contagious laughter and innocent play, were now only echoes of a happy past, stolen from the life they so cherished. With renewed determination, Nicholas decided he could not allow fear to dominate the village. He needed to investigate and uncover the truth behind their disappearance. Throughout his search, Nicholas moved through the narrow streets, where the aroma of spices and freshly baked bread mingled with the fragrance of wildflowers. He questioned the villagers, gathering clues to guide him on his journey. With each step, his instincts led him to believe there was something deeper at play, a shadow that extended beyond mere criminality. When the information began to align, Nicholas finally uncovered the horrifying truth. The children had been kidnapped by a corrupt butcher, a man whose greed had driven him to commit unspeakable acts. The revelation ignited Nicholas's resolve, and he found himself facing a crucial decision. He needed to act quickly to save those innocent souls, and the idea of a plan began to take shape in his mind. The young bishop's courage not only propelled him forward but also rekindled hope within the community, which anxiously awaited a miracle. Nicholas walked the streets of Myra with a faint smile on his face, the admiration of the community still echoing in his mind. The rescue of the children had been a turning point, and now he found himself immersed in a new mission. News of his generosity had spread like wildfire, and he had become a symbol of hope for the needy. The day was sunny, and flowers began to bloom, coloring the village squares. However, the shadow of injustice still loomed over the town, and Nicholas knew his work was far from over. As he walked, he was approached by a group of distressed villagers who told him about a desperate father. His 3 daughters were at the mercy of a cruel fate, about to be sold into slavery due to the lack of a dowry. The man's story resonated deeply within Nicholas's heart, and he felt an uncontrollable urgency to help. It was more than a calling. It was a mission that transcended his role as a bishop. The thought of those young lives being undone by such a cruel act caused a pang in his chest. With determination, Nicholas decided he could not let this happen. He went to the man's house, his mind racing with an audacious plan. The evening shadows began to lengthen as he strategically positioned himself, watching the house's window. Bags of gold were ready, hidden under his cloak, and hope pulsed in his heart. In the silence of the night, he threw the bags through the window, a gesture that symbolized not just the currency, but a promise of a better future. By dawn, news of his action spread rapidly. The man's daughters now had dowries, and joy filled the air. Celebrations began, and people gathered in the squares to honor the generous bishop. However, as Nicholas's fame grew, so did new challenges. Village elders, concerned about a tyrannical governor oppressing the poorest, sought his help. The spreading oppression demanded courage and determination, and Nicholas knew he could not shy away from this new responsibility. He prepared to confront injustices, aware that his greatest test was only beginning. In the shadow of the night, the atmosphere in the small village of Myra was heavy with tension and anticipation. Nicholas, with the firmness of a leader, decided he could no longer wait to act. The injustice perpetrated by the tyrannical governor could not be ignored, and he called the oppressed villagers to a clandestine meeting. In a hidden location, far from prying eyes, voices united in murmurs of hope and determination. Nicholas spoke fervently, his words resonating as a call to action. He spoke of courage, unity, and the importance of fighting against oppression. The flame of resistance began to ignite in the hearts of those present as he inspired the idea that, together, they could challenge the corrupt power that kept them in servitude. That same night, as the stars began to shine in the sky, an unexpected messenger appeared before Nicholas, bringing a warning of betrayal. The anonymous message, hastily written, spoke of a sinister plan plotted against him. The bishop, though intrigued and concerned, knew he could not let fear overcome his courage. He bid farewell to his allies, his eyes carrying a mix of determination and apprehension. The darkness seemed to deepen as he made his way to the house of the elders, a place where wisdom and resistance intertwined. On the way, Nicholas felt shadows around him, as though he was being watched. Suddenly, the governor's henchmen emerged, their treacherous intentions evident in their menacing expressions. Nicholas, though gripped by a chill down his spine, refused to let panic take hold. With cunning, he evaded their attacks, using his knowledge of the streets and alleys he knew so well. Yet, as he fought for his freedom, his gaze was drawn to one of the attackers. The man carried a peculiar amulet that gleamed under the moonlight, emanating an aura of power and mystery. A shiver ran down Nicholas's spine, as if the object held profound significance, a connection to something far greater than he could imagine. As he escaped the confrontation, Nicholas could not stop thinking about the amulet. What did it represent? Was it merely a symbol of oppression, or something more? With every step he took, uncertainty lingered, but his determination to continue his fight against injustice burned brightly within. He knew he could not give up, for the story of Saint Nicholas was only beginning to unfold, and the true meaning of his journey was yet to be revealed. Intrigued by the amulet he had seen in the hands of the governor's henchmen, Nicholas felt a growing restlessness within himself. He decided he could not ignore the sign the universe had sent him. He knew that this object was not just any artifact. Its origin and meaning might be intertwined with the secrets of his own history. With renewed determination, he sought information about the sect that worshipped pagan gods, whose influence threatened not only his reputation but also the future of his community. The days that followed were filled with research and discreet conversations. Nicholas visited wise men of the region, examined ancient texts, and delved into legends that spoke of obscure cults still operating in the shadows. He came across accounts of rituals promising power and wealth but demanding sacrifices in return. The connection between the amulet and these dark practices began to unfold in his mind, revealing a network of intrigues that extended far beyond what he had imagined. Finally, Nicholas decided he needed to go to the Basilica of St. Nicholas, a sacred place housing his relics. Upon entering the imposing structure, he was enveloped by an air of reverence. Soft light filtered through the stained glass, illuminating the altar where the sacred remains of the bishop rested. Pilgrims there spoke of the manna, a miraculous liquid that exuded from his bones, attributing to Nicholas the ability to heal and bless those seeking his intercession. As he observed the relics, Nicholas felt a wave of energy coursing through his body. The murmurs of the crowd became a distant echo, and he found himself immersed in an intense spiritual experience. A strange presence surrounded him, as if something or someone was trying to communicate. His heart raced, and a sense of warning struck him. It felt as though the spirit of Saint Nicholas himself was alerting him to the hidden dangers surrounding his image and the truth behind his actions. Nicholas realized that the fame he had earned was not just a blessing but also a burden. People's expectations and growing adoration could distort the essence of his genuine intentions. He knew he needed to protect his image and, more importantly, the truth about his acts of generosity. In a moment of clarity, he made a silent vow. From that moment on, he would not only be a defender of the poor but also a guardian of the truth, ready to confront any force threatening his sacred mission. The atmosphere around him seemed to pulse with a new energy, and Nicholas left the basilica with a renewed sense of purpose. He knew the challenges ahead would require courage and cunning, but he was prepared to fight for the integrity of his legend and the protection of his community. The governor's amulet lingered in his thoughts, a symbol of the power he sought to expose and dismantle. As the daylight began to fade, he felt that his journey was just beginning and that even deeper secrets awaited discovery. As Nicholas's fame spread like an uncontrollable fire, he became the target of slander and intrigue. A political rival, who saw the bishop's rise as a threat to his power, began sowing seeds of doubt in the minds of the people. Malicious rumors arose, claiming that the miracles attributed to Nicholas were mere fabrications meant to conceal a darker truth. Whispering voices echoed in the squares and taverns, creating a climate of mistrust that threatened to shake the very foundations of the community. Aware of the lies being spread about him, Nicholas decided it was time to act. With renewed fervor, he began planning a new act of generosity, a miracle that would disprove the slander and reaffirm his position as a defender of the underprivileged. He called upon the community, uniting the people around a new victim of injustice, an elderly woman who had lost everything in a devastating fire. Nicholas's eyes shone with determination as he organized an event to raise funds and resources to help her start anew. On the appointed day, the square was filled with villagers eager to see what the bishop had planned. The atmosphere was one of anticipation and hope. Nicholas stepped before the crowd, his heart pounding with the certainty that his actions would speak louder than the words of his enemies. He began distributing donations, and the scene quickly transformed into a spectacle of generosity. The people were moved by the compassion and kindness that radiated from him. When the culminating moment of the event arrived, Nicholas decided to perform a symbolic gesture. He took a bag filled with coins and, as he lifted it, an intense light burst forth from the bag's interior. The glow was so strong it seemed to illuminate the very souls of those present. The coins reflected a golden light, almost supernatural, filling the square with an inexplicable warmth. The people, astonished, watched the phenomenon with awe and reverence. The connection between the miracle and Nicholas's generosity was palpable, and the murmurs that followed were filled with admiration and renewed faith. As the voices of the crowd rose in acclamation, a sense of unity and hope swept through the atmosphere. Nicholas realized he was not just a bishop seeking to redeem his image but a symbol of resistance against the forces attempting to destabilize the community. The glow of the coins seemed to reveal more than a simple act of generosity. It was a manifestation of something greater, a connection to the divine and to the mysteries surrounding his life and mission. The miracle's impact reverberated through the souls of those present, awakening a new belief in the power of solidarity and the truth that resides in genuine acts of kindness. Nicholas, wrapped in a mixture of confusion and awe, watched as an ethereal figure materialized before him. The emissary, cloaked in a mantle that seemed to reflect starlight, exuded an aura of power and wisdom. Her eyes, as deep as the abyss, appeared to see beyond mortal comprehension. As he listened to her words, Nicholas felt a chill run down his spine, a sense that he was about to be drawn into an abyss of hidden truths. The revelation that his benevolent actions had made him a target of dark forces left him uneasy. He had always believed that goodness was a shield against evil, a light capable of dispelling darkness. But now, as the emissary's words resonated in his mind, he began to understand that his fame not only attracted admirers but also envious and manipulative individuals. The amulet carried by the attacker, now revealed as a key to a hidden power, seemed intertwined with the destiny not just of Nicholas but of his entire community. As the emissary spoke, Nicholas realized he was not merely a bishop. He bore the weight of a greater legacy, a guardian of ancient secrets that could shape the future. The idea of being part of a cosmic battle between light and darkness was overwhelming. He found himself at a crossroads, to remain within the safety of his religious life or to venture into a world filled with uncertainties and responsibilities beyond his understanding. The shadow approaching in the distance seemed to signal that new challenges awaited. Nicholas felt his heart quicken, pulsing with a mix of fear and determination. He knew that, regardless of the choice he made, his life would never be the same. The horizon before him was not just a line dividing the sky and earth but a doorway to a new destiny, filled with mysteries waiting to be unraveled. With one final glance at the mysterious figure, a sense of resolve began to grow within him. The true Saint Nicholas was about to emerge, and the story he knew was about to intertwine with something far greater than he had ever imagined.